What would happen if a major UN agency decided to relocate its staff from New York to Nairobi? With this question, we dive into the implications of a significant move by the United Nations Population Fund. Imagine, a quarter of the staff in the New York office packing their bags, ready to work from the heart of Africa. The move, while strategic, has raised eyebrows and concerns, sparking a wave of curiosity. Let's unravel the answer in the next few minutes. The United Nations Population Fund, or UNFPA, recently made a strategic decision. The organization has decided to relocate a significant portion of its New York staff to Nairobi, Kenya. This move is not just a simple change of scenery, it's a well-thought-out strategy aimed at increasing the organization's efficiency and effectiveness. Why Nairobi, you ask? The UNFPA is dedicated to creating a world where every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled. Nairobi, a city nestled in the heart of Africa, brings the organization closer to the communities it serves. This proximity allows for a more hands-on approach and quicker response times in addressing key issues such as maternal mortality rates. But let's step back a bit and understand the magnitude of this decision. The UNFPA is one of the largest international development agencies, with its headquarters traditionally stationed in New York. However, the organization's mission often requires working in countries far away from its main office. This geographical divide, while manageable, can sometimes create a disconnect between the organization and the communities it serves. This relocation to Nairobi is a step towards bridging that gap. By choosing to be closer to the ground, the UNFPA is essentially saying it wants to be in the thick of things. It wants to be where the action is, where the need is the greatest, and where it can make the most significant impact. But of course, such a decision does not come without its fair share of challenges. There's the logistical nightmare of moving a quarter of the New York office staff halfway across the world. There's the issue of managing core functions from a distance, and there's also the concern among employees who feel they were not consulted before this decision was made. Yes, this move is a significant one. It's bold, it's strategic, and it's potentially game-changing. But it's also a move that brings with it a great deal of uncertainty and apprehension. About a quarter of the New York office staff will be affected by this decision. Imagine being told you have to move halfway across the world for your job. That's the reality for a substantial portion of the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA staff in New York. The news of the mass relocation has undoubtedly sent shockwaves through the office corridors. The decision, which affects about a quarter of the staff, has given rise to a whirlwind of emotions. Many employees are grappling with feelings of apprehension, uncertainty, and even resentment. The main bone of contention? They feel left out of the decision-making process. This sense of exclusion has cast a shadow over the move, causing concern and raising questions about the organization's commitment to a transparent and inclusive work environment. Aside from the personal and emotional toll, there are also practical concerns. How will the organization handle the Herculean task of managing core functions from a distance? The sudden shift of operations from New York to Nairobi is no small feat. It requires a complete overhaul of systems and processes, a challenge that is bound to test the resilience and adaptability of the organization. There's also the question of efficiency. Will the move result in improved operations or create a chasm of disconnect? The concern is that being geographically distant from the headquarters might lead to lags in communication, delays in decision-making, and a potential disconnect with the global strategies and goals. However, it's important to remember that change, while often daunting, is also a catalyst for growth. This move could open up opportunities for the organization to innovate and adapt. By being closer to the communities they serve, they could gain a deeper understanding of the issues at hand and craft more effective solutions. Despite these concerns, the leadership at UNFPA sees the move in a positive light. For them, this isn't just about geographical relocation. It's about redefining the organization's approach, aligning closer with the communities they serve, and making a real impact where it matters most. This decision is not an isolated incident. Rather, it is part of a larger trend sweeping across the United Nations agencies and non-governmental organizations, a trend aptly described as a shift southwards. This shift is characterized by an increasing number of these organizations moving their bases from the traditional Western capitals to cities in the global South. The reasons for such relocations vary, But the common thread is the desire to be closer to the communities these organizations aim to serve. And this is precisely what the United Nations Population Fund, or UNFPA, is striving to achieve with its relocation from New York to Nairobi. This move by the UNFPA is not just about physical proximity. It's about understanding the nuances of the communities in need, the cultural perspectives, the unique challenges, and the opportunities that lie within these regions. By being on the ground, the UNFPA and other organizations can engage more effectively with local populations, fostering stronger relationships and promoting more sustainable solutions. However, it's important to note that this shift southwards isn't without its critics. Concerns have been raised about the potential challenges of managing core functions from a distance, of maintaining effective communication, and ensuring the necessary resources are available in these new locations. But despite these legitimate concerns, the trend continues to gain momentum. This shift is being viewed positively by many in the global south. For these countries, it's not just about having international organizations closer to the ground. It's about recognition, about being seen as equal players on the global stage. It's about having their cities like Nairobi acknowledged as important diplomatic hubs. And this sentiment is echoed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kenya. They view this relocation as a sign of confidence in Nairobi's capabilities, a recognition of its growing importance in international diplomacy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kenya, for one, welcomes the move. Every major decision comes with expected outcomes, and the significant relocation of the United Nations Population Fund, or UNFPA, from New York to Nairobi is no exception. The primary objective of this strategic move is to bring the organization closer to the communities it serves. Being on the ground in the heart of the action is expected to enhance the agency's efficiency and effectiveness. But how, you might ask? Well, think about it. By being closer to the populations in need, the UNFPA can gain a deeper understanding of the unique challenges these communities face, and in turn, develop more tailored solutions to address them. One of the major issues the UNFPA is particularly focused on is maternal mortality rates in Africa. With this relocation, the organization is in a better position to respond more rapidly and effectively to this crisis. By being in Nairobi, they can work hand in hand with local health officials, organizations, and the community itself. This could mean faster implementation of health programs, more accurate data collection, and ultimately, more lives saved. Moreover, the move is not just about addressing the immediate needs of the communities. It is also about fostering long-term change. By being in Nairobi, the UNFPA can actively participate in shaping policies and strategies that could lead to a more sustainable solution to the maternal mortality crisis in Africa. But the benefits of this relocation extend beyond the UNFPA and the communities it serves. The move is also a significant boost for Nairobi as a city. With a major UN agency setting up shop in its backyard, Nairobi is put firmly on the map as a leading diplomatic hub. This could open doors for more international organizations to consider Nairobi as a viable location for their operations, bringing with them opportunities for growth and development. In essence, the UNFPA's relocation is more than just a strategic move. It is a ripple that could create waves of positive change, not just for the communities they serve, but for Nairobi and potentially the whole of Africa. The relocation is seen as a sign of confidence in Nairobi as a diplomatic hub. So what have we learned today? We've journeyed through the significant decision made by the United Nations Population Fund, or UNFPA, to relocate a substantial part of its New York staff to Nairobi. This strategic move is designed to bring the agency closer to the communities it serves, with the aim of enhancing efficiency and effectiveness. We've delved into the concerns of the affected personnel, around a quarter of the New York office staff. Their apprehensions revolve around the lack of prior consultation, and the potential challenges of managing core functions from a distance. We've also explored the broader context of this move. It's part of a growing trend among UN agencies and non-governmental organizations shifting their bases to the global south. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kenya has shown enthusiasm for this development, seeing it as a vote of confidence in Nairobi as a diplomatic hub. Finally, we've looked into the expected outcomes of this relocation. It's anticipated that being closer to the populations in need will enable a more rapid and effective response to community needs. A particular focus is on addressing the high maternal mortality rates in Africa. But as with any significant change, there are uncertainties. There are potential benefits, but also potential risks and challenges. The hope is that the positives will outweigh any negatives, and that the move will ultimately strengthen the UNFPA's ability to fulfill its mission. In the end, only time will tell if this bold move will pay off.